Okay, so 1.7, we're going to be talking about variables, what they are, and using them, and then replacement values. So replacing an expression with something else in order to solve or simplify that expression. So in order to do this today, we're going to have to remember those order of operations, or the PEMDAS, that we've been talking about in class. So let's start off by defining what a variable is. A variable is a symbol to represent an unknown quantity. So something to stand for something else. So for example, we see these all the time. A could be a symbol or a variable to stand for any number, so 5. Okay, so that's a variable. An algebraic expression is different from an algebraic equation because it doesn't have an equal sign. It's a combination combination of variables and numbers with operations. So it has to have like an n and a 2 and a plus sign, minus sign, multiplication, division. So an example of this would be 2a plus 7, or 4 minus 8 plus n. Okay, so those are expressions. They have no equal sign, but they're just an expression. And then what we're going to be talking about today is this replacement value. So this just means replacing a variable with a given number. Okay, and you're going to do this to simplify or solve an expression. Okay, so let's move into some examples here. In order to solve or simplify these expressions down here, we have to use the replacement value. So this up here, think of it as like your key. Okay, sorry guys. This right here is going to be your key for what to replace those variables with. So A stands for -3, B for 5, and so on. So these down here get a little complicated. A couple of things to remember though. Whenever you have variables next to each other, what do they want you to do? They want you to multiply those two things. So this is multiplication, multiplication. Okay? So keep that in mind when you see two variables very close to each other. So let's just start by replacing our variables with our numbers. So A is -3. So I'm going to have -3 squared. I'm going to write the times because I know that anything next to each other like this, they want me to multiply it. So I'm just going to add that in for myself. D is going to be 4 plus B is 5 times 1/2. Okay, so now we've got it all filled in, and now it looks eerily familiar to what we did yesterday. So we're going to simplify this by doing order of operations. So the first thing I'm going to do, according to PEMDAS, is our exponents. So -3 times -3 is going to give us a +9, and then I'm going to bring everything else down, just like I did yesterday. Next thing in my order of operations would be multiplication. So I'm going to keep simplifying. So I'm going to get 36 plus 5 times 1/2. And this is a yucky number because I'm going to get a decimal here. So we have, what am I going to do first? Am I going to do plus or multiplication? I'm going to do multiplication. So I'm going to do 5 times 1/2 is going to be 2.5 plus 36. And then you're just going to finish adding those up, so I'm going to get 38.5. Alright, let's try the next one here. First thing we're going to do is just replace those variables with the numbers. So C is going to be 1/2 times 4 plus 5 times 4. So that's our top. And then the bottom is going to be -3 plus 4. So now I can start simplifying the top and the bottom. So on the top, first thing I'm going to do is this multiplication. So that's going to give me 2 plus 5 times 4. And then on the bottom, this is the only thing left, and that's going to give me a positive 1. And then I can do a couple more things on top here. So I'm going to do the multiplication first. So 5 times 4 is 20, so I have 2 plus 20 over 1. And one last step is going to give me 22 over 1, or just 22 is fine as well. And then the last one we're going to replace, same as we've been doing. So we have 4 divided by a half plus negative 3 times 4, and then 6 on the bottom. So the first thing we're going to do is our parentheses. So we have, on the top of that fraction, we have negative 3 divided, or times 4, I'm sorry, is going to give us negative 12 over 6. I'm going to bring everything else down. So we have division, addition, and then another division. So I'm just going to go this way. Keep in mind your division is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So if I were to flip this fraction and multiply it, it would give me 8 plus negative 12 over 6. According to order of operations, I'm going to do division next. So I'm going to be left with 8 plus a negative 2. And then finish it off with our positive 6. So that's using replacement values, variables, to incorporate that order of operations.